Brett N. Steenbarger, The Psychology of Trading, Tools and Techniques for Minding the Markets, Wiley Trading. Dive into the complex world of decision-making with the book summary of The Psychology of Trading, Tools and Techniques for Minding the Markets by Brett N. Steenbarger. Explore the factors that influence our choices, including context, selective perception, cognitive dissonance, and flawed memory. Discover the role of heuristics and biases in our judgments and the history of decision theory. With this summary, gain a deeper understanding of the psychological processes behind our choices, as well as ways to improve decision-making by considering alternative perspectives and minimizing biases.
The psychology of decision-making. In a world where we're faced with endless choices, making the right decision can be overwhelming. However, psychology researchers have conducted numerous experiments and studies to understand how humans make decisions and have some recommendations on how to make better ones. First, understand that the context of every decision matters. A famous card experiment demonstrated that selective perception can cloud our judgment. People's decisions are also swayed by the way questions are framed. To avoid psychological inconsistencies, it's crucial to elicit judgments in various ways. The book uses a parable to emphasize the importance of consistency in one's motives. The tailor's shop incident showed that when the motivation changed from hatred to monetary rewards, the hooligans lost interest in taunting the Jewish tailor. Understanding these psychological principles is crucial for better decision-making and can lead to a happier life. The fallacy of memories. Memories are fallible, and context plays a crucial role in decision-making as well as memory formation. Have you ever been certain about a past event, only to discover that your recollection was incorrect? Memory is fallible and can interfere with logical, emotion-free decision-making. Memories are not mental copies of our previous experiences, instead, they are mental reconstructions of past events. We often reconstruct our personal histories inaccurately. Research has shown that memories can be inconsistent with actual past events. So, it is important to keep good records to avoid this pitfall. Context also plays a crucial role in memory formation, which affects all human perceptions. For instance, real estate agents know that contrasting a home positively against another home that requires a lot of work or is too expensive can make it more appealing. In decision-making, situation-specific factors such as time availability and mood influence judgment and decision-making significantly. Even when answering mundane questions, context can significantly impact one's responses. In one experiment, researchers asked college students to rate the degree of unity among fictional citizens of various nations. Surprisingly, 4 out of 5 students confidently gave their opinions on how closely these people felt towards their fellow citizens, despite the fact that these characters did not exist. Survey experts know that how questions are structured and framed can significantly affect responses. Therefore, it's essential to keep the order of questions and words in mind when considering survey results. In conclusion, memories are fallible, and context plays a crucial role in decision-making as well as memory formation. It's vital to keep these factors in mind while making decisions and interpreting the accuracy of survey results. Principles of rational decision-making. This summary explores the history of decision theory from its early beginnings with mathematicians Nicolaus and Daniel Bernoulli to Leonard Savage's subjective expected utility theory. The authors refine Bernoulli's expected utility theory to derive 6 principles of logical decision-making. They include the ordering of alternatives, dominance, cancellation, transitivity, continuity, and invariance. The principle of stochastic choice, proposed by Duncan Luce in 1959, treated choices as probabilities and introduced randomness as a factor influencing decision-making. Lastly, prospect theory, proposed by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky in 1979, incorporates loss aversion as a significant factor in decision-making. Despite numerous attempts by other researchers to supplant expected utility theory, it remains the primary concept in decision-making. The article concludes that for rational decision-making, individuals must consider these principles along with objective facts and subjective probabilities. The biases in decision-making. Heuristics are general rules that people use in decision-making, and while they can save time, they can also lead to biased thinking. One such bias is the representative heuristic, which assumes one choice stands in for another. The availability heuristic concerns an event's probability based on how common or frequent it appears. These biases have important consequential effects, such as making us less inclined to live healthier lifestyles. To counter these biases, we can keep accurate records, ask for third-party assessments, and avoid wishful thinking. Decision-making and groupthink. How a person thinks impacts their decision-making process, which can significantly influence the people around them. Decision analyst Philip Tetlock suggests viewing decision-makers as politicians accountable to their constituents, the people they work with, family, and friends. Despite conducting judgment and decision-making research, human biases affect the experimental subjects and researchers. In 1982, Irving Janis coined the term groupthink to explain how loyalty and conformity shape decision-making. Groupthink can lead to a deterioration of mental efficiency and moral judgment, as exemplified by President John F. Kennedy's ill-fated decision to invade Cuba. Avoiding judgment errors. Overconfidence can lead to judgment errors, as seen in the tragedy of the Challenger explosion. To avoid such errors, mental recalibration is necessary. Decision-makers can also fall into the trap of self-fulfilling prophecies, where false predictions become accurate due to faulty reasoning. This is particularly insidious in the realm of racial stereotypes, where confirmation bias is common. To prevent this, one must not seek confirming evidence of negative judgments. Judgment and decision-making, a paradoxical conundrum. Making rational decisions that lead to the best outcome is not just a matter of thinking correctly, but also entails a complex set of situational and personal factors. This is complicated by the observation that not every outside observer can accurately assess someone else's decision-making process. Consequently, researchers have tried to develop debiasing techniques aimed at reducing biases and errors in judgment. Such techniques are based on considering alternative perspectives, which can ultimately lead to better decisions. Nevertheless, this reveals another paradox, that if everything researchers have discovered about faulty judgment is true, then their findings are inherently contestable. In conclusion, rationality in decision-making is more than simply thinking straight, it also involves a sensitivity to situational and personal factors that can influence our thinking in unexpected ways.
In conclusion, the psychology of trading offers valuable insights into the decision-making process, shedding light on the role of context, selective perception, cognitive dissonance, and memory in our choices. We learned about the history of decision theory and the emergence of heuristics that simplify decision-making but may lead to biases. The book teaches us to be aware of the contextual factors that affect our judgments and to strive for improved decision-making by considering alternative perspectives and minimizing biases. By understanding the psychological processes and factors at play, we can make better, more informed decisions in every aspect of our lives.